I'm going to be honest with you. I want to be, can I say this? Can I say I want to be a big bitch? Can I say that on camera?
Say anything.
Okay. I just always wanted to be a big muscular bitch. Like that's just what I always envisioned being. I love muscle. I love the way it looks. I love the way I feel. The more muscle I can pack on, the better. My name is Danielle. I've been working at Gold's Gym for about 1.5 years now. I'm a member service advisor, but about last year I switched over to personal training as well, so I do a combination of things. So I was really skinny all my life, and then, you know, we all have self-esteem issues and things like that. I never liked the way that I looked. And then in my early 20s, I got into the gym, but I wasn't taking nutrition seriously. I just was kind of weightlifting and then eating whatever I wanted. And of course, we all know that doesn't work. So when I moved back to New York, I took my nutrition seriously and actually signed up with a coach at Gold's Gym, and he helped me dial in nutrition more. And then it just kind of snowballed. I wanted to compete, and yeah, just kind of went from there. So I liked the muscular look. I always wanted to put on more muscle throughout. And then a lot of people suggested that I try to compete, and I have a very competitive personality to begin with. So I was like, if I'm gonna work this hard, I might as well see how I do against other people that work equally as hard. And the reason I went into competitions is my dad was one of my biggest supporters. And I was actually in prep last year and he passed away, so I couldn't get on stage. And so it took about 1 year for me to kind of mentally and physically bounce back from that. And then this year I decided I'm gonna go back into prep. He was always very supportive. He used to tell me all the time, you know, Danielle, you can do whatever you want to do, just make sure you're the best at it. And by no means am I the best right now, but I feel like I have the potential to be. So every time I want to quit prep, because it's really hard doing, you know, 1 hour of cardio twice a day and eating tilapia and green beans 5 times a day, I just keep hearing that in my head that he wanted me to do this. And, you know, so I kind of just hear his voice. Well, I wake up around 5:45 every morning. Right now I do 1 hour of fasted cardio. It's usually a combination of the Stairmaster and the elliptical. I get my first meal in, and then I usually go right on shift with Gold's. I train for the day, I sell memberships. I don't like to work out when it's super busy here, so I actually go home and nap for about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and then I get to the gym and work out for about 2 to 2.5 hours with cardio included. And it's broken up into body parts, so quads, arms, shoulders, back biceps, chest triceps, hamstrings, glutes. It'll all be a different day. And then the 1 hour of cardio after weights. I come home, I eat my last meal, and then I go to bed and repeat the process.
Hang out for 4.5 hours a day.
Probably, just about. Yeah, I would say, because weights and cardio post is probably, like, after work is about 2.5 hours, then you add 1 hour of fasted cardio. Yeah, I would say about 4 hours. It's just the drive. I love the result. I love the process. It's tough. Like, I can't even tell you how many mornings I wake up and say, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to quit. But it's the results that I like. I love to do this. I love to teach people how to do this, and so it keeps me going. It keeps me on a regimen, and that's something that I like too. Just the organization of not having to think. Everything's already laid out for me. I just have to do it, and hopefully it'll be worth it come show day. So. I love this gym. I utilize both locations, Middletown and Newburgh. The vast majority of equipment, the wide range of just exercises that I can do here has just enhanced my training so much. Sometimes I check out other gyms in like New Jersey and stuff like that, but there's no gym that's gonna get me to where I am other than Gold's. That's why I love working here. I love being here. I'm pretty much at a Gold's Gym 7 days a week, whether it's Newburgh or Middletown, so I'm here every day. The energy is different too. It's nice to work next to like-minded individuals who, maybe they don't want to necessarily compete, but just being in an environment where everybody wants to be better makes me want to be better as well. I had to pick a song for a final routine just in case, if I do place first in one of my classes, I'll make it to the final routine show at night. So the song I picked is for him. So I think it'll, my mom and my brother are gonna be in the audience too, so I think it will probably invoke a lot of emotion amongst the people that know me and that are gonna be there for support. But I think it'll be relieving that I put in all this hard work and finally I'm able to showcase it.